Yeah, the big bucket one.
Yeah, your guys aren't having enough pee to have to worry about doing what I'm going to show you would do.
The burrow ones are bad. They're just buried. I did it on Wednesday and it was a lot.
Yeah, see this wet spot here? Okay, normally if it would all show up at the top, you know that's a big wet spot there. And all you're going to do is take from wherever the dry stuff is push back. Push back your dry stuff.
Last year she
You
didn't have
gotta use this because it stays together pretty well. Or you can take a fork and then get down there and get your wet. Take it out. And take your wet out separate from your manure if you want to rotate it and save even more money. Okay? So if this is just all your wet spot, just go through all your stalls and take all your wet spots out separate. But if it's not a big pier and you have that wet spot in here like that, flip it. Just flip it.
Oh.
Bring back the dry. And stir that on the dry.
I noticed that on Sunday when I was doing that. If I found a wet spot, I just kind of flipped it around. And
Just flip it. If it's not a real severe wet spot, just flip it. But as long as you're doing wet spots every day, you can just flip them. And that'll dry out within a couple hours. Okay? And then for manure, if you have a nice big pile of it, all you want to do is just go down, swing your fork, get down under a little bit, balance it, drop your bedding in, get rid of your manure only. And once you're done with all that, just level out your pen again. And if you miss some manure, don't worry about it because eventually when it dries out, it's so light it surfaces eventually.
I find that with the burrows with the little hoops.
Yeah.
We have if you don't use the one with the screen in it, right, it falls out.
And you can be in and out of a stall in no time. And the best is not to take. Don't do that.
Oh,
Don't do that.
that's what we can do.
Because then you're going to be going.
Okay.
Just do a little bit of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just find it. Just go lightly under it. Sorry guys. And just get it out. And if you have to, you know, scoop it up to the top. Okay. Wet spot, so.
And it just dries in a couple hours.
Yep, because you're mixing it in with the dry hull already.
Ooh, I can smell that one.
Yep, you will. But again, you don't have to smell it too long.
Right.
Once it dries back out, you want to smell it.
Yeah, because we really can't afford it.
So what do you consider a severe wet spot? When it's coming through the top of the hay? I mean the top of the bedding?
When you're seeing it at the top of the bedding, you've got wet spot that needs to be removed.
Okay. Because most of the time I just go really deep with flipping it around.
Yeah, and you can, but you want to make sure if you don't get clumps of it out there, big clumps, you stir it good enough. And it'll smell for a little bit, but again, once it dries out, it's dried out. But if you want to take out wet spots separate, if you want to save money, take it out, put it in an area, let it dry for a couple of days. Next time you take out wet spots, bring that dry stuff back in.
No, we can't. We just use it out there for bedding.
Either way, you can use it as bedding, or you can just rotate and bring it back in. But typically, I can go with my 4 horses. I can get all my stalls done and the breezeway within an hour, easily. It's not that big of a deal.
Unless we have a place to put it, to recycle it and put it back in, you'd be picking up dirt and rocks and you'd be bringing it back into the stall.
Yeah, that's true.
So we need to, if we're gonna do that, we need to find a place to make, that we can use it to dry the stuff out.
Could we use those westernmost stalls since they seem to be hot for the summer?
Yeah.
If you put it
Not
out to
any
dry
hotter
too,
than
when
any
you
of
bring
the
it
other
back in,
stalls.
just stay a half-inch from the brown. Just
Yeah,
take
don't
off,
dig it all
just
the
don't
way.
hit brown. So,
Yeah, that way you don't have any dirt contamination.
They probably already did.
Ours have been on our stalls.
Especially
now.
Chip,
Well,
yeah,
ours was
no
on our
matter.
stalls for 3 years, and the only reason we took out our breezeway and the stalls on one side is my shadow was 34. He had a reaction to his West Nile injection 2 years ago, and his white pasterns all burned from the inside out, severe burns. And so we changed out those, but now our bedding's been in 2 years. all our stalls again. 2 years already. And yeah, if you do it right, you've got the people that are clean right and not, forget the mucking, forget that hard work mucking.
So how often do you say to do it every day? To just
Yeah.
check for it?
We do ours once a day.
Once a
There
day.
are people that do them twice a day. And if you're gonna have, horses in and out of here constantly, ours are on a 12-12 turnout.
Yeah.
So we're not having as much manure. But if you've got horses in here all day, all night, then you're gonna wanna do twice a day. But, yeah, we can get through a stall pretty quick. And just once you're done, I'll bring you up a rice hull basket for it next time. And, let you try that out because it works quite a bit faster and you don't lose as much bedding and take out finer pieces with the finer tines. And then once you're done, just take it, because when they walk, usually walk it towards the edge, you just bring your bedding back into the center. And level it out. And being that it's fiber, most of you probably realize by now, if they ingest it with their hay or whatever, it's not a problem.
They like to eat it.
Yeah, because I do see them
Especially
eating it.
when you first put it down,
They're like, oh, food.
Montana used to be that way.
Has a bitter
Right, when you
taste,
first
so
put
they
it in
won't eat it
Montana,
long.
just thought it was the world's greatest thing for a full 24 hours. Then she
Yeah, I've
decides,
seen them,
like,
like,
this
skimming
is
it
the
when there's
worst
hay in it,
stuff.
like,
It has
these are
no
nothing, and
taste.
like,
It's
okay,
not hay.
but-
And that was the end of it. And she was the only one of my 4 that did it. But that,
Wow, doesn't seem that hard.
We've been working too
it
hard.
is wrong.
Yeah, we've been working way over hard on this.
Usually it's
Overkill.
typical. It's not unusual at all. Don't be surprised. It is not unusual to overwork it. Everybody's used to straw and shaving mentality of working their butts off and mucking and having flies all over and a huge muck heap out there and huge haul off expenses. And of course, if you run a ranch, you pay the labor expenses too. And it's a lot more for people to be in your stalls cleaning out. So, and ideally, you make it 4 to 6 inches. It's going to last you and work out really well for you.
We put in 8 bags in each stall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
think
it's not
that's-
quite what you optimum, but it still does.
Maybe we should order add one more bag. We've got them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. We could easily do that. That would be get 9 in each.
So you can pick up real fine pieces with the regular manure pork, you're always a lot worse. And that's why you do what?
Well, we need to get some of those basket
Baskets,
ones.
The new basket.
You get the basket ones, you'll get rid of a lot of this, probably about 2% of what you're seeing.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's good.
Well, thank you very much for coming and showing
You
us.
have more people that want to see this that haven't seen it, you might have to come out again.
Yeah, we might plan one on a weekend.
So the other thing is, those of us that are here when we're on our shifts, maybe we could
Train the other people.
we could show the other people on our shifts if they're, just give them some tips like you showed us.
Yeah.
So that I know we don't have somebody representing every shift right now here, but we could. And then Mary's videoing it so she can.
Yeah, because your typical muckers are the ones that are going to go,
Yeah, that's how I do it.
And then they waste a lot of it.
Frustrated, yes, exactly.
And it's like,
So
we're
you get
charity.
experience with
Every
rice
dollar
hull fork, and
counts.
You're just gonna grab little pieces right off the top. And when you have your large pile, let's say there's a large pile moving right here, you only want to just go this way. Just enough to get under it, and it might take 2 or 3 times. Bounce that bedding, and you're gonna have a whole huge pile of manure that's gonna go up.
Yeah, as soon as you get done mucking the stall, then they always like to leave you another new brand new ribbon.
I don't think that would count.
That's what I used to wait for. That's my box. That's true. That's how my pets are.
I can hear you.
So our horses don't pee enough, huh?
Oh, have you seen that one before I cleaned it
Now,
up?
if you were on dirt, if you didn't have these mats like I am, I'm on dirt, I don't even take out my wet spots. I don't touch them at all. All year round. All I do is take up manure. And you actually can take your wet spots, you can put them in a round pen. So, quite feasible to do different things with. You can use in gardening. However, nitrates, people go, well, I put my manure in the garden. I said, well, then you have nitrates. Whether you use the bedding in the garden too or not, you're going to have nitrates and your stuff's going to yellow.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So basically that's it, unless you guys have any more questions. Very good.